This conference will now be recorded.
Hello,
Recording in progress.
hello everyone. Good morning, and sorry for not being able to take the classes today because one of my neighbor has expired here and it was a lot of noise. Uh, First thing, are you able to hear me properly without any disturbance? All of you, yes or no? Is it still breaking? This Airtel network is very bad from 1 week. Okay. Yes, it's clear. Okay, fine. So in last class, we have completed uh, software development life cycle, different phases, different roles involved, and different documents we need to generate and everything. And I also gave assignment to analyze and work on test plan preparation. What are the different details we capture in the test plan document? And I have explained one document which has been shared by Niharika, I hope. We have seen this. So remaining, I will see at the end today. Okay, anyhow, we have seen one document, right? You got the idea about what is what, but okay, forgot about a few things. Entry criteria, exit criteria, did I explain last class, which we had very short session. Entry criteria, exit criteria, suspension criteria, did we talk about? All of you. No? Okay. Test strategy, scope of objectives, test schedules, resources, test deliverables, test environment, risk management, approvals. Okay, approvals is not about any content here. Actually, it is the document. Once you prepare the test plan document, it will be shared with the different people to get the approval. Okay, Lakshmi, good. We'll see from Praveen. Same. Okay, scope is fine. Okay, so these are same as I just now saw from Lakshmi. We take the latest one. Yeah. So here, when you say objectives or this one, this will be having two things: in scope, out of scope, features to be tested, features not to be tested. And then here, if you see pass fail criteria, entry exit criteria, these are very important things in entry exit criteria. Pass and fail criteria, that is build not deployed, sanity test fail, these are all fail criteria. Pass criteria, that is this may or may not be there, but entry exit criteria is an important thing for us. And also suspension criteria is something which is related to this in between. Entry criteria is certain conditions that need to be satisfied in order to start your testing activity. Some of the for this, to start with my test case creation, requirements must be finalized and prioritized. To start with my test case execution, tool must be up and running and the latest test environment must be set up. Should see here, the test environment should be ready, required access to should be provided, development should be completed. All these are all entry criteria. This set of conditions are activities that should already been completed by the time testing team start their testing activities. Those conditions or those parameters will be mentioned in the entry criteria. To start and exit criteria, again here, exit criteria is what? This is exit criteria actually. What to end your testing, it is not to stop your testing, to end your testing for that specific cycle. What are the conditions testing team should satisfy? Then only you can, if you meet all these parameters, then only you can say like we are done with our testing for that specific cycle. Such parameters or such conditions will be mentioned under exit criteria. When to what are the parameters that need to be satisfied to start the testing activities is called entry criteria. To end the testing for that specific cycle is called exit criteria. What is exit criteria? Now when can you end the testing? Once your all test cases are executed, all are passed. That means what? All the functionalities are tested and all are passed, and then no new defects are found, no risk in the project, all the defects are fixed, testing scheduled or the testing schedule are completed. This is means as per the schedule, whatever you have given, whatever you planned is completed or not according to that. Okay, remaining, like there can be some, it is not a fixed even entry criteria or exit criteria will not be a fixed or standard parameters will be mentioned in this section for all the projects or all the companies. It will be varying depending on the situation and also company to company, project to project, that set these parameters. Especially there can be some open defects, at least we can have 10 open defects, but those 10 open defects should not be critical or urgent defects. It should be medium or low defects. It's okay to accept and release the product with that known issues. Like that, some people will mention. Okay, so such criteria will be defined under the exit criteria, which will be mentioned as which will be considered and strictly need to be satisfied before you end your testing for that specific cycle. Understood? Entry exit criteria, all of you? Yes or no? Okay, please respond. Don't be silent. If you are silent, it will be lost for you. I'll go in my speed. Okay. Okay, schedules. What are the when to start and what are the different? When do you complete integration testing? When do you complete test case writing, designing test cases? When do you complete the execution? When do you do the UAT testing? All these things. UAT testing, why do we need to do? Once it is deployed, it is not like we deployed, our part is done. You also need to, before informing to the customer, you do a quick round of sanity testing in UAT. Okay, what is sanity? Whenever a new build is deployed, all the features are deployed correctly or not, the build is properly deployed or not, you'll be confirming. Build verification test you will be doing, right? When you deploy this new version to UAT, once after your testing, you will be doing quick sanity testing. Some projects may not do that, but as per the process, we are responsible to test that as well. Why? Because during deployment time, something may go wrong. That's why we need to do a quick round of sanity testing. So that testing also, some people will cover it in the schedule. Otherwise, they move it out of the scope. Then they will mention here out of scope or UAT testing is out of scope, like that. Okay. So these are the different, by when, who will be responsible, responsibilities also, resources and their responsibilities here. Who will do what? That will be mentioned here. And training plans, if at all this is, if you have any, this section will not be there every time. Okay, when you have new resources which who join newly, they need some trainings to cope up with the work, then they will mention these things. Okay, configuration management, these are all test environment setup related things. Test deliverables, I told in the SDLC itself, what are the set of documents or artifacts that need to be generated and delivered by the testing team are considered as test deliverables. Here, test, I told test plan document itself is one deliverable. Test strategy and test cases, what you prepare, test execution results, defects report, and whatever test case reviews, and even RCA documents when you have done review, RCA root cause analysis for the defects, test summary report. Like that's different reports and QA sign off document, release notes, everything is test deliverable. And risk and mitigation plan, this is very important to identify for every cycle what are the risks you may face in this cycle during your testing. It can be with the application or with the features or with the resources. Okay, whatever you are testing is a very risky functionality for which team is not that much expertised. Are huge, very complex calculations are involved, which is difficult to test quickly and where we need to spend more time and give more attention, such kind of things. And even when the resources are not available, resources are going on leave for long days, and how do you plan that? Risks and mitigation, mitigation means, okay, you found this risk, fine, how do you avoid, mitigate the, means how do you reduce the impact of that risk? So the lack of skill resources, lack of team coordination, delay, this is not a risk. Okay, this is, you should not tell this one, lack of team coordination. I don't know who mentioned it in the, from where you copied, but lack of team coordination, if you tell to customer, then he will feel bad about our vendor. Okay, so such things should not be there. Something which you will be really problems which you are facing related to resources are new and they are not skilled in this specific area, that is one issue. Okay, that you will, what is mitigation plan? We are going to, you're planning to conduct some trainings, skate sessions for this whole week for them, so that they will get skilled in that specific area. Okay, requirement documents are not available, estimations are not corrected. Estimations are not corrected is not a risk. Okay, you should get it done. Estimations are not corrected means whatever you estimated for the requirement earlier, later on you want to revise it, you should get it done. That is, this is not a delay in the project deliverables. No, this is not a risk. Clear? What is risk and mitigation plan? If resources are not there, what will, that is a risk. What will you do? What is your mitigation plan? I'm planning to lend the developers for some time to do the testing. Once they complete their development activities, I requested development, at least 2 developers to support the testing team for only for this specific cycle, as all the testing resources are went on leave. That is one proposal. Or we are hiring some shadow resources from other projects just to support only for this cycle in the absence of our own resources. Some other project you may take some people, shadow resources for time being, or sometimes BAs will pitch in the testing. Okay, so something, some plans, you are, how are you going to avoid that risk, reduce the risk, in the mitigation plan you need to mention. Understood? Let's see from quickly, what is there, anything different in Harish? Okay, same disclosure report. No, 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 these reports you will not get to know in the This is our test deliverables. Oh, okay, that is what you mentioned here. Test deliverables, fine. Where is test plan document? Okay, define the test area, resource planning, test environment, schedule estimation, determine test deliverables. Okay, fine. That is same. Vaishnavi. Vaishnavi is not there in call. Scope, schedules, exit parameters, entry parameters. These are all defect management, risk management, resource allocation. Okay, these are not all details are not covered. Should be there should be some more details. Narendra. Hmm. This is how you come up with the test plan document. Okay, the strategy, test objectives, test criteria, resource planning, test environment, schedules and estimations, determine the test elements. Okay, fine. All of you clear with test plan document? Any questions before I move on to next topic? Any questions? No? Oh, oh. Okay, fine. Please respond. Don't be silent. Okay. I don't know. From 2 days, you guys are very silent. Please speak out. Don't send messages also. Okay, moving on to the next topic. SDLC. What is SDLC? Software Development Lifecycle. We have seen what are the phases in SDLC, right? What is SDLC phases? Oh, what are the phases? Analysis, designing, implementation, which is nothing but coding, testing. Once you've done testing, you will inform to the deployment team or release management team to deploy the latest version of the application to customer UAT environment. That is deployment. From this deployment is not talking only to deploy from testing environment to customer. It is talking about other further deployments as well, that release management team will take care of deploying from UAT to pre-production, pre-production to production, that all the deployments will be taken care by deployment team. Maybe I forgot to mention this, and I talked about application will be deployed to customer for their testing. Not only that, it is for any level, any environment after testing environment, all the deployments will be taken care by our team. Feedback given by all the people who are using application in all those environments will be supported and clarified and addressed by our team, that is as part of the maintenance bit. Okay, so these are all phases will be there in every SDLC model, whichever model you are going to follow. Definitely you need to do these activities. There is no software development without these phases. Okay, but why do we have these many models? What are the models we have to implement these phases with different rules and regulations, different terms and conditions? The same phases to develop the product, we have different models. First one, waterfall model, V model. What else? Incremental model, rad model, spiral model, iterative model, and the most important one which we need to focus more is agile model. What is RAD? Is rapid application development model. What is V? Why do we get V model? Anyone knows why it is called V model?
It's verification and validation
Yes.
activities we do at the same.
Yes. So some people will be thinking it is this is the process. These processes are defined in different way in V shape. Okay, V shape diagram. So people get confused. V shape it is there. That's why it is called as V model. Since it is V model, they gave the shape in V shape. Otherwise, you can write it in parallel also. I will explain when we come to this model. This is why it is called V model. It is called verification and validation model. Okay. These are the different models. The first and very basic model which we need to definitely remember forever is waterfall model. Why? Because now in the agile world, every time when they ask some questions, they compare the questions with waterfall. Okay, what is difference between waterfall and agile? What is the how it was the lean development here? How it is now in the agile? How the requirement changes are handled in waterfall? Like that, they compare and ask questions. Every new latest model will be definitely compared with waterfall model because it was the basic model in the beginning. Now still some projects are running in this model. It doesn't mean like it is old model and it is not being followed by anyone. No, still it is being followed. Okay, but what are the rules? So all these models are going to have these phases, may be represented with different labels, different shape and different way, but only thing is how these phases are implemented with different rules is those rules are going to vary model to model here. Okay, let's here see what is waterfall model. Okay, so to explain this one from my notes, I will take the pictures instead of I draw and waste the time. Okay, yeah. If you see this one, the phases are same: requirement gathering and analysis, system design, implementation, testing, deployment of system, maintenance. Same phases what we discussed in SDLC. They are represented here in this way. But if you see here, there is an arrow showing downwards, means one direction. So that means how we need to understand this one. Once we complete requirement gathering analysis fully for the whole project, then only we start with designing the whole application, giving the high level designs, low level designs, and prototypes. Everything we work on only after gathering and documenting, finalizing all the requirements are done for whole application, then only we start with designing for the whole application. Once the designing part is done for whole application, then only we'll start coding. When coding is being done, it is not for one feature they develop and give to testers. Once the whole application with all the requirements is developed, then only testing will start. Once whole application is tested with all the features, then only you deploy to customer, not like in between we deploy to some 10 people. Whole application only will be deployed once full product is tested and qualified by quality has been certified by testing team, then only the whole product will be deployed. There won't be any intermediate deliverables, small features releasing and getting the feedback from the customer. Nothing will happen in waterfall model as such. And then we give the maintenance. Understood? So waterfall model is, it is a one directional model which is also called as lean sequential model. Okay, as per this model, the requirements gathering and documenting specification must be done for the whole application before getting into, must be completed, must be done for the whole application before getting into the designing phase. Okay, so here, since it is one directional, moving to the next step, next phase happens only after fully completing the current phase. Fully completing the current phase. So in that way, this statement is giving other disadvantages of this model, that is testing will happen, testing will be done, be started only after completing, after completely developing the whole product, whole application or product. There won't be testers in the beginning. In this waterfall model projects, they don't hire testers only in the beginning of the project. They hire only developers. Developers only themselves, they will be testing whatever they develop. Then they will be hiring testing team at the end when they feel we are going to complete the development in a month or some time. Then they will hire the testing team. Okay, and in the similar way, there won't be any intermediate. So what is the problem here? Testing will happen only after completely developing the problem. This one of the principle is not being satisfied here. What is that? One of the testing principle is not being satisfied here. What is that? Early testing is not possible in this model. Okay, because testing will not be there in the beginning, and there won't be any intermediate deliverables. Only at to the customer, only the final product will be deployed at the end of the project. Okay, so what does it mean? You will not get early feedback from the customer. Customer will get to know about the product only once you develop fully, then only you will see. Either he may spit on us or either he may accept it. Most of the cases in this waterfall model, out of 100, 95% of projects are failed because customer feedback is the key for us when we are developing any product. If you get that feedback in the early stages itself, it is easy to rectify the things whatever customer is giving and get the customer satisfaction easily. But if you develop the whole product and give to the customer at the end, and if you see what kind of rubbish product you have developed, if we say, then gone contract. Okay, so that's why very few projects. What are those few projects are? It is suitable. It is suitable for small scale applications development where the requirements are very minimal and customer is very much clear on his or her requirements. Customer must be clear with his requirements, what he is expecting to be there in the application. First he should be clear. We cannot do trials and errors. Okay, we develop and give you, check once, if you don't like we will develop again. Like that you cannot tell to the customer. In this model, this model is suitable only when the requirements are too clear. Only when requirements are too clear, and also requirements are minimal. If requirements, 1000 requirements are there, yeah, if it's still you can follow, but 1000 requirements, can anyone give clear expectations in the beginning itself? It's a bit difficult. Customer may not have for many requirements that clear picture. That's where, you know, like many people are running many projects are being handled in agile model, because no need to have clear information for all the requirements in the beginning itself. If you get requirement or only one requirement, then start developing that one requirement. Meanwhile, let the customer figure out what is he expecting for the other requirement along with RBA. Like that it will go, but we will discuss that later on. So this project is suitable only for small scale applications where requirements are very clear. Any questions on this model? And one more important thing is, once you go to the designing phase, again going back to the previous phase is not allowed. Moving to the next phase happens only after fully completing the current phase. And once we move to the next phase, moving back to the previous phase is not allowed. Oh, is not allowed means it will close the gate and it will not allow us to enter into that house, or what? It's a rule. Once I am confirming that we are done with our requirement gathering and analysis, and once we are, then we entered into design, or once we are done with the design and team started writing code, again if you come back to us as a customer, if you come back to us and saying that, hey, can you please change the design, can you please change this requirement, that is not allowed. So requirement changes are not allowed in this model. Oh, that means once customer is given, we will develop even though it is wrong, and customer is again telling to us, no, 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 my bad, it has, I've given something wrong, could you please change like this, he is requesting. No, according to waterfall model, we don't accept it, and we develop this wrong product only. Like that, if you say, customer will pay for us. No, right? So what does how do you need to understand this point? Requirement changes are not allowed if you within the same timeline, within the same budget, we cannot do. It is costing. These changes you are proposing is not to quickly address them. They are very huge changes. It requires a lot of rework and it requires a lot of time as well. We need additional money for that, additional time for that. If you give that, then we rework on it. Understood? That is what you need to understand with this point. All of you clear? Waterfall model. Okay, moving on. So now remember, we talked about three major disadvantages with this. Testing, no early testing is possible because testing starts only after development. There won't be any intermediate deliverables and requirement changes are also not allowed. So step by step, they try to overcome each disadvantage of waterfall model in these models. Okay, V model, actually this is also kind of waterfall model only. The major disadvantage they considered in waterfall model is early testing. It is something wrong. We are not delivering quality product to the customer with waterfall model because testing team is not there along with the development team. So if you start testing along with the development, then we may give quality product. That's what they felt and they came up with V model. Okay, let's see now what is V model. It is a verification and validation model, but it is also similar to waterfall model, but only change is that testing team start their work along with the development simultaneously. Okay, this is the, so what does it mean? Early testing is possible in this model. Oh, what is the early testing is possible, that is early testing is not possible? Okay, if it is possible, what is the benefit? Early testing is possible, okay, what is the benefit? Why I am telling this as a very good point here? What is the benefit? Anyone?
If any then any requirement are missing or some is not clear, then we can get clarification from client.
Okay, that is secondary point. What is the major point?
Test cases are ready, sample development can directly start.
Testing. You're getting into explanation, that's fine, but the key point is not coming, Praveen. That is, you can detect the issues in the early stages. Okay, you can find the issues in the early stages, which will cost very minimal effort to fix them. Instead of identifying the defect after completing the whole product development, during this phase, if you are identifying, or if you are identifying during the implementation itself, or during the design itself, or during the requirement gathering itself, how much time you are going to save, how much rework you are going to save. That's the benefit of early testing. That's why we are highlighting here early testing is possible in the V model. See. Okay, let's take this all other disadvantages, remaining other disadvantages. of waterfall model are applicable to V model as well. What are those things? Requirement changes are not allowed, and also no intermediate deliverables. Here also, though your testing team started testing along with development, it doesn't mean like once you complete the testing of some features you will be deploying it to customer. No, it will be, though you are testing, you will be keeping everything validated, and once the final product is developed and you tested fully, and then only you will be giving final product. No intermediate deliverables to the customer, and only the final product will be deployed at the end. Okay, that is still applicable. Okay, so now let's see how it is. So one thing is, this is little bit costlier than waterfall model. Why? Because you need to hire the testing team in the beginning itself. That's why. Budget wise, it is little bit more. Let me take the V model and explain. So what is the key point that we need to learn about this V model here in today is, here if you notice here, I have explained these documentations, right? Instead of telling the requirement gathering, analysis, design, implementation, testing, deployment, and maintenance. Acceptance testing, who does? So instead of mentioning in these terms directly, they defined in different words, that is business requirement specification, which will be done in the requirement gathering phase, system requirement specification, where the functional requirements will be defined in the analysis phase based on the requirement gathering, high level designs and low level designs for the gathered requirements will be defined with the help of architects and business analysts and designers during the designing phase, and then it will be explained to developers and start the development, and then testing will be done in parallel. If they develop one small requirement, testing will be done. Unit testing, when a module is developed, you do component testing. When two modules or three modules are developed and integrated, how the communication between these three modules or two modules is happening, you do it as part of integration testing. When the whole system is developed, you do system testing, and then when you deploy to the customer, they check their business requirements are satisfied or not in the, and give the acceptance by the customers. Clear? So this flow, they are talking developers life cycle, where developers will be involved. This cycle they are telling testing life cycle, which is called as validation phase, they are telling. So during the development, whatever testing activities will be done, those are considered as verification. After the development of any feature, whatever testing activities are performed, they are considered as validation activities. Okay, so what you need to really know here is, what is verification and validation. Very, very important question it is. If you talk in testing V model point of view, during the development, whatever activities are performed by developers, they are considering as verification. But it is not true. In real time, verification is not done by developers only. Everyone is responsible. So what should we do during the development of any product? Okay, I will mention here the testing activities performed during the development of any feature or product are considered as verification activities. That's why I don't tell here verification will be done by developers, validation will be done by testers. It is theoretically for the V model it is correct, but in practically in real time verification we are also doing. Okay, so validation also verification. What is that? Verification activities, all the static testing activities, all the static testing activities are considered as verification activities. What are those things? Static analysis, walkthrough, reviews in which you have informal reviews, formal reviews, and what is the last one? Inspection. So these are all verification things only. So it is according to V model, verification is performed by development team, developers, but in reality verification is the responsibility of testers, both testers and developers. During the development. Okay, after development validation, this is purely responsibility of testers only, not the developers. Okay, so the one second, let me explain the validation, then I'll give the textbook definition, which is very confusing. Validation, the set of testing activities performed by the testing team after developing a feature or product are considered as validation activities. All the formal dynamic testing activities are considered as validation activities. What are those things? What are the dynamic testing activities means? All the formal test execution performed by the testing team, all the formal test executions. What are those things? It can be smoke, sanity, integration, regression, system, etc. Everything, all the types of executions, whatever you do as part of different types of testing, all are performed by testers only. Those are all considered as testing team are considered as validation, are part of are performed performed by the testing team as part of validation. Okay, that is the, it is purely testing responsibility, validation. So definitions point of view, if you see in internet or any textbook, if you refer, verification means, definition, are we developing product right? And if you see the validation, are we developing right product? See, simple word switching. Okay, product right product. During the development, this is the question every time should be triggered in the developer's mind. Are we going in right direction? Are we developing product right way? This one, validation is something, the set of testing activities performed by the testing team, sorry, after developing the feature, they are satisfied. Is it, is it clear now? Okay, I raised a complaint also to Airtel, but still it is not rectified. Okay, so those set of activities, whatever you do after development, why are you doing? You are confirming that the developed product is satisfying all the customer needs, customer expectations mentioned in the requirement. But during the development, we will be checking, are we developing correctly or not? Product right. That is, this is the confusing definition, but if you remember it, otherwise you explain this one, no problem in interview. Any questions in V model? No? Okay, so we'll not get into next model today. Next we will complete these things a bit quicker, and then we focus mainly on this model for next class, and also next to next class we will be mainly discussing on this, because we will definitely, we need to mention in the resume whichever project you are working that is following waterfall model, you need to mention. And also you will be definitely getting some questions on this, process oriented questions related to agile model. We will spend a lot of time on this to learn all the aspects of agile model. If you get time, you also explore in internet so that it will be easy to understand when I am explaining. All of you able to get what I am explaining? Any difficulty in understanding, or am I going little bit speed, or how it is? Please share your feedback openly. Is it clear, everyone? Okay. So don't take these things lightly, like anyhow all theoretical, this is not required for us, like that. If you are thinking, then you will not be a good tester. Okay, this is very important to become very good tester. If you learn all this basement properly, then you can build your career in testing to new heights. Okay, definitely we need this knowledge as a tester. Okay, so that you can even talk testing point of view, which is being wrong, which is wrong, correct. You can even question your leads also, if at all you have this strong knowledge. In my opinion, in my observation, 60 to 70% of testers in the real-time work are not knowing what is testing. They might be very good testers in testing and validating the application, but they don't know the basics and they are doing something what they are asked to do. That's it. They are very good in validating or they are identifying beautiful defects, that's fine, but they don't know the basics, many of them, which I have observed. But you should not be in that 60-70%. You should be in the remaining 30%. Okay, so please remember everything, don't neglect any topic, and I request you to do the as I said in the beginning, explore in internet on each topic, listen YouTube videos and get idea about different explanation from different people. Okay, so that it will be easy to frame your own answers in interview. Okay, that's it for today. If you have any questions before we close, please shoot out, otherwise we can close the session for the day. No? Okay, thank you then. Bye bye. Speak to you tomorrow at the same time.
Recording stopped.
Bye bye. Welcome. Have a nice rest of the day, everyone. Bye bye.